Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
Got any baby pictures of those precious children in your house?
I actually don't have baby pictures because I didn't know my children when they were babies. So right. I have 18-month and 4-year-old pictures that we got from the orphanage. But we thought we would talk today about how well documented our children's childhoods are. You often see on social media both people oversharing their kids and people judging people for oversharing their kids. And, you know, there may be a time when it'll be nice to go back and look at all those pictures and to have access to, oftentimes I raid other people's Facebook pages for pictures of my children. So I appreciate that sort of obsessive cataloging that goes on. I also think about the worst boss I ever had. I had a friend in that office who she also was just dreadful to, and it had developed at some point that this friend of mine found out that this woman had no pictures from her childhood at all. Her parents had completely cataloged her brother's childhood but never took a picture of her.
Oh, no. Wow.
And so apparently this turned her into this monster that we were later employed by. So I think it's certainly possible to over-document your child's life and also possible to under-document it. So I thought I would ask you all today, do you lean to one or another side of that spectrum, or do you document your kid's childhood in photography exactly the right number of times? We have a ton of photo albums of the kids' younger years, and then I think I just stopped taking pictures, or maybe I got a phone and I knew I could take pictures on my phone, but then I never did. But there's a wide gap. And now I can go on iPhoto and find some, but not as many as I'd like. And rarely do I just take their picture just for fun. So, Catherine, what's your photography situation there? Do you have boxes and boxes of photos, or gigabytes and gigabytes of photos, or do you just kind of have to remember what they look like?
Well, it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, we several years ago, during one of my mom's attempts to retire, which didn't really stick, I gave her CDs and thumb drives with a whole bunch with all the photos, and she printed them out and put them in albums for me.
Wow.
Because you know how you have them, but you never, when you have digital pictures, you just never get around to printing them out. Mm-hmm. So she did that for me, which was amazing. So that goes up until a few years ago, I guess. So it's probably time to see if she'll do it again, but I don't know if she will because she works still. So I should probably do it myself, but I don't know. I'm not good at that because, you know, and of course I have pictures, digital pictures saved, but they're not on the cloud. Mm-hmm. They're on the laptop, which I feel like is not a great idea. I mean, I have them backed up on the cloud, but I haven't used like iPhoto or Google or whatever I could be using.
That is a problem. You know, photos saved at different places across your various sources of technology is like the modern version of there's a roll of film in the camera that never got developed. You know, it's like it exists, but can you put your hands on it? Possibly not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we were cleaning out and reorganizing our office, which we did recently, I found a couple of CDs that had pictures on them. Oh, look at this. Some pictures. And at the time, I happened to be looking for some pictures of my daughter from her early skating years, and I actually found some in that moment. Some appeared during the cleaning process, but I am already thinking about how when she's a senior, I'm going to be asked to provide all kinds of pictures of her. and that's going to happen, 2 years from now. And I'm already worried about finding the right things and accessing them. And, some of them will only be hard copies and some of them will be electronic. And, do I scan them or what do I do? And I don't have a scanner that works. So
that is rough. Yeah.
I mean, and the ones that I have saved on my laptop, they're roughly organized by date, but, there will be a folder that contains months and months.
Right.
So it's not exactly, if you're like, I remember there was one where she was doing this or that, good luck finding that.
At the time when my daughter went through that, senior year needs photos of, and also I think when she graduated from 5th grade, they needed them too. And I had at that time a large box full of loose photographs from all different times in my life that I had never put in albums. So one summer when my daughter didn't have much to do, I gave her that project. So they're all albumed now. But it was sort of nice to be able to just go through hard copies of stuff looking for that thing you wanted and find it. And put it in an envelope to give to the people at school.
Right. But then don't you have to worry about what if it never comes back?
Yeah, I put my address on the back of them and stuff, but I think we got them back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. The digital ones, it's nice because you can just put a copy on a thumb drive and hand it over if you can find it, which is not always easy to do.
And as for whether I take pictures, yeah, I mean, I do. But it's definitely one of those things that tails off as your kids get older. And things like their hockey, and my son's hockey game, there are some parents who take a ton of pictures and videos and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a camera that can do that well. And am I really, really gonna watch a video of an entire hockey game?
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if you need it, you can get from one of those parents who do.
Right.
I find myself doing that a lot when kids line up and every parent stands there to take the picture. And I'm thinking, you know what? They're all going to put those pictures up on Facebook. I'm just going to grab them there. Exactly. Why do I need to be standing there also? Maybe they have better photo skills than me.
Right.
How about you, Nicole? How documented are your kids' lives?
It's kind of funny because when they were younger, my mom and Peter took a lot of photos. My husband took a lot of photos of the kids. And I used to get so annoyed with my husband in particular because he had a camera everywhere we went. And he would just be snapping away and not interacting with us. And I used to get so annoyed by it. And, we would be in these, places, especially vacations, would be in this grandiose location. And rather than enjoying the view with us or talking about it, he'd be 10 feet away taking pictures.
And of course, he's never then in the pictures. You have all these family pictures.
Then he's never in the pictures. And
that's me and my family.
So, of course, I didn't appreciate it at the time. And I was really kind of not happy with him for not participating in the family event, or as I saw, what I think he should be doing to participate. And then he took all the photos and he developed them and put them in albums. And my mom did the same. And so we have a plethora of photos of the kids when they were younger in albums.
Yeah.
And I'm actually grateful that he did it. Because I look back now and I'm like, I think about, they just bring up all sorts of memories and moments and wow, I'm actually, and I even said that to him the other day. I'm like, I'm actually really happy that you ended up taking all those photos and he took videos too, which wasn't really a big, nobody lugged around those big video cameras. I mean, he didn't either. He used his he had a little video recorder, but so he took videos anyway. So those are digital. So now what he's been doing is he now keeps everything on his computer. And then once I got an iPhone, then I started taking more photos of the kids, but they're just all on the computer. They never get printed out. I mean, we have thousands. I think the last time I looked, it was 14,000 photos or something like that we had, but they don't they haven't been printed out. And the ones that do rarely get printed out are just in a big box in my cupboard here. So, and I mean, the last major set of photos we had done, was my son's graduation from high school. And then we have that up on the wall. But yeah, we're not really like formal photo takers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have almost never done paid someone to take a portrait. Like,
yeah.
I mean, my husband actually would, he would refuse to participate in anything like that because he just absolutely can't stand getting his picture taken. So, if we, like one time our church was doing a directory, and they pay, it was complimentary to go into this one studio and get your picture taken, and they were making a directory. So it's just me and the two kids because my husband in no way would go and take that.
Yeah, we have one from a church directory, and we have one from their school was doing it as a fundraiser, so we had our picture taken. I love that picture because the photographer was really good and really engaged my son. So he's got this delightful look on his face because the guy was playing like with something he was tossing at him and pulling back. I can't remember what it was. And then when we first brought home the kids from Russia, it wouldn't have been that Christmas, but maybe the following Christmas, my sister-in-law was all determined to get formal pictures of the kids done at Sears. So that was quite the ordeal. We got them, but, my son even then wasn't much he was like 2, I guess. He was not much for sitting still. My niece was a baby, and, my daughter would sit still just fine, but it's like getting everybody to pose correctly all at once. I'm sure that photographer went home and had a stiff drink after that photo session. But I still have the pictures, and they're cute. They're good. My sister-in-law made them all matching clothes. So.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
But in terms of videos, I've never been one to take videos at activities and stuff, but I bought myself a video camera one year, and for about 6 months, I took videos all the time, and then I pretty much completely stopped. So we have this. Because it was a hassle to get that back then, to get them onto the computer, and then you had to run them through a movie or whatever to get them to be something you could watch. It was the summer that I did this summer camp with my son and his friends, so we had videos from that, and I made them a CD at the end of the summer, and that was really nice. And for a while, the kids really, really liked watching them because it's yourself on TV. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that was short-lived. This camera's still somewhere collecting dust. I have no idea what to do, how to work it anymore. And I never got to the point of taking videos with my phone, but I know people do. So.
No, we don't have a lot of videos. I mean, the ones that my husband took in the earlier years, we don't have a lot, but they're usually just snippets now of different things. I mean, we have some of my son and his band, but I just don't know I would just like to put them all in one spot, but I don't know how to do that.
I have everything in iPhoto, and even then I can't find stuff.
No. My cousin, on the other hand, who is like the epitome of organization, I have deep respect for her because she makes it a priority, but she will print out the photos that are on her phone. Yeah. And she will also scan like significant items, like a report card or piece of artwork or a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And then she makes photo books for both of her kids, and she's got them like all the way from birth.
Wow.
And her oldest one is 15 now. And she's got this huge shelving unit in her office, and they're full of these photo books of her kids when at different ages. It's incredible. I'm like, wow.
That's an overachiever right there.
Kudos. Oh, she is very, very driven.
And that person should go into business. I will curate your children's memories for this amount of money per month.
I know. And I'm every time I FaceTime her, I'm like, okay, show me what you got now. Because she just seems to add to it continuously. So,
do her kids appreciate it, or are they like, Mom, cut that out?
No, I think they're used to having a camera in their face. So
they're like jaded starlets, you know, the paparazzi. There's just no escaping them.
She's a TV producer, so they've always had a camera around. But she talks about, you know, how her daughter and son will often go in there and pull them out and look at them, and so I guess that's the value in it, right? Is having that accessible. So yeah, I just feel like it's a big hodgepodge in our house. I don't know. I have an idea, a vague idea of where I could find something if I wanted to, but it's probably not going to happen if it takes serious effort.